There I am.
It's loading. Here it goes. Okay. I think it's working now.
Yay. If nothing else, I can take my computer around and take a tour of the school if you guys want to relive some old memories.
We could do that. I have a few questions.
Let's start with that.
For this live stream. The first question I was going to come up with was, how have you been since the last live stream we did? Like, if there's anything that changed or otherwise.
So for me personally, things got a little bit worse. Like I just couldn't, I was feeling myself just getting in a really dark hole, and kind of broke around last Friday, just before the weekend. Maybe because I was hopeful about knowing that I was going to be coming back to school in a way. I know that sounds really weird, but one thing that I've learned through all of this is that I'm where I belong. I like teaching, and it is, and I don't like it as an online teacher. That's not why I teach. I teach because I like the synergistic exchange between my students and my colleagues, and I gain a lot of inspiration and stimulation through that, and a lot of love. So I realized, I think that's why I've been honestly so depressed. So how about you?
I have been quite well, actually. I've been just kind of, chilling, playing games and whatnot. I've finished a lot of homework really quickly now. It's starting to come quicker, the whole online process. Doesn't mean I like it by any means, but it has started to get easier in the understanding of how the tech works and, classes and everything like that. But yeah, for the most part, I've been pretty all right.
Yeah. That's a good way of describing it.
It's pretty all right,
Pretty all right.
It's just almost all right.
Yeah.
My other question, I have another question. What kinds of music have you been listening to recently to kind of, I don't know, boost the mood or maybe kind of, I don't know, help?
So one thing I started doing was I started riding my road bike again, not on the road because of the quarantine, and also because I get a little nervous about riding on the road with Utah drivers, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I got a trainer and I've been riding again. I used to ride a lot. And so I've been choosing like Peloton workouts that have really upbeat music. Like one was I learned about a new music style called, now I'm going to make a fool out of myself. I think it's EMD.
EDM.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Electronic dance music?
Yeah, electronic dance music. There's big guys that I've heard of. There's this one guy like Deadma or Deadmau5, or I honestly don't know. But
so I know you kind of like the 80s stuff, right? In the 70s.
Yeah. That's
so you were born in the wrong era. Yeah. But true. I don't really like. I liked that music. It was really upbeat, and it just kept me going. And then so I was like, I probably should turn on more upbeat music. I hate popular music for the most part. Every now and then there's a song that I'm like, yeah, this is great. But most of the time I'm just like, it's all the same. So a lot of times I listen to podcasts, listen to speakers that I like. And yeah, every now and then I find some tunes that I know that sounds weird as a music and like a music theater person. But I think I listen to probably more podcasts than I do music. That's just being old. Old people, we like information.
Yeah, there's a few podcasts I like. they're not super, how shall I say it? Kid friendly. That's the one.
Hmm.
But they're fun sometimes. For me, recently, me and Rio, we have been having a playlist off competition.
Oh, nice. I love
Yeah,
that idea.
we tried to make a extremely aggressive type of music playlist.
Okay.
And the funny thing is Rio went for the more like lyrically aggressive
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
stuff, like a lot of like Tyler the Creator and all kinds of other rappers and stuff like that.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Stuff like Straight Outta Compton. And then I did, yeah, I made more musically aggressive
Uh-huh.
stuff like Slipknot and Through the Fire and
Oh, yeah.
Flames. Yeah.
Okay. That is a group I've actually heard of.
And we decided that we both won in our own right because we didn't really have a parameter as to what we were actually going to be, doing the playlist on,
Hmm.
which I thought was kind of funny. But music I've been listening to recently is, funnily enough, uh, uh, my dad introduced me to Steely Dan
Oh,
recently.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and uh, that's what I've been listening to.
Is that the group that sings one of the songs I hate the most? No offense, Tony. Um, do they sing the Hey 19?
Oh yeah,
I hate that song so much. I don't know why. It always makes me feel weird inside. I think because when it came out, I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11 or something. And
yeah,
I was just at that age where I could kind of get the drift, but I wasn't sure. And it always made me feel like something's weird here. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That guy's voice is really high.
yeah. I like Peg a lot from them, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Another question.
Yes.
Coming back to school from the break, what have been your means of pushing forward with like maybe a positive kind of a lookout on it, knowing that we're probably not going to be going back, or definitely not going to be going back to regular classroom for a while.
I think I was really ready for it because I really, I really felt like that was coming. I'm sure a lot of people did. I don't think it really caught anybody that off guard. But having, yeah, the reality of it, that that might have had something to do with feeling a little sad too. Because I knew, like I really knew. And I have a senior, I have a student at home who's a senior, and so I've been, I think, absorbing a lot of her sad for her. Um, but my positive is, and I actually said this to a parent that I was emailing today. I said, one of the positives for me is that I'm really excited about the fall. And I feel there's going to be a lot of excitement about the coming year. Um, which, let's be honest, at this point in the year, not a lot of teachers are excited for fall. We just can't wait to get to summer. We're not thinking about fall
Right.
at all. And now I'm like, oh, I just can't wait. And I'm making plans for Shakespeare competition and fall show and spring show and region and state and my classes. And I've had extra time to really reflect and think about all the things I want to do better. And so I'm sure I'm not alone, that a lot of people are just feeling like, okay, you know what? We're going to finish out the year this way. And no one loves it, but it's going to give us lots of time to plan for next year, you know? And I think that's kind of what's keeping me going. And plus the interaction today or yesterday when everybody was sort of back up and running, I had so much like love coming my way. You know what I mean? Like lots of students just checking in and, just seeing how I am and, oh, we missed you and I hope you had a good break. And that was really awesome. I just like to see that everybody is kind of rallying and make the most of it.
Yeah, I
What about
agree.
you?
I agree with a very vast majority of that, but kind of a weird story. When we were
Yeah,
first, told that we were gonna on that same Friday, right? When we
right.
were first told that we were gonna, come back,
Hmm.
after a little while, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we're gonna take this next week off, and I'm gonna have a break because like, mentally, I was in a kind of a weird, like, I don't know, kind of anxious state for some reason. But when that hit, it was kind of like, oh, huh, this is really happening, right? And then during the like the first week, I had really like gone into like a zone where I had like figured out about myself, and I talked about this last time. Uh, I found a new way of kind of like thinking,
Hmm.
and that was like that made me ready. I was so ready to come back the next week or like a week after that, and I was
Right.
super hyped to be like a kind of in a different mindset, but still
Hmm.
kind of bringing it back to my old self, which I'd kind of abandoned for a little while.
Hmm.
And I feel like right after that, I was like, oh, well, I guess we'll just wait a little longer. And that's kind of been my mindset this whole time. It's just, oh, well, I guess we'll just wait a little longer till we go back. And that's kind of what's really pushed me to not go into like some weird depression or whatever. And maybe it's just also the people around me. They're staying positive, and
Hmm.
it's really good to have the support and the people around you that especially I do. But really, yeah, it's kind of just thinking that like, oh, just wait just a little bit longer, and it'll, you know,
Hmm.
that really works for me for some reason. I don't
Yeah,
know why, but
I can see that.
for some people it's like, oh, it's going to be wait. People have to think. Some people I know anyway, they have to think for the very worst situation
Hmm. Hmm.
that they have to put themselves in. It's like, we're going to be here for 2 years. And then once they're actually out of it, they're like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, yeah, it just depends on emotional disposition. Certain personalities, um, they they like to sort of dress rehearse the tragedy so that when it doesn't turn out to be a tragedy, they feel like, okay, I'm ready. Or like if it does turn out to be that bad, they feel like I've already dress rehearsed this in my head. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. The crazy thing is though, that actually doesn't work. So once it comes at you, you still have to deal with it in the present.
Yeah, because it's always
So
different. It's always
yeah,
random.
it is. It is.
You
So,
could prepare for the worst, but there's still less than worst, but still bad.
and different, right?
And
And
100%
once,
different. Yeah.
yeah. So I get it. I get that. I get that mindset. And it's perfectly okay if that's what helps a person cope, if that's the way that they deal with hard things. Hey, it really helps them. If it's a tool for them, I wouldn't take anyone's tool away from them. You know what I mean? Like, if that's how it works for you, do it.
Yeah. Here's another question for you. Due to the quarantine, what new movies or TV shows have you been watching to kind of appease the boredom?
So I have this weird thing where I like to watch shows that I've already watched. And so I'm going back and watching Criminal Minds again.
Oh, I have a thing about that, but keep going.
Yeah, okay, I want to hear it. So I caught up on that, and then I'm super excited that Making the Cut came out. So I've been watching all of those. It's kind of like it's with Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn. It's like a design,
Okay.
not a costume, it's fashion. But I love watching those people deal with the design process because that's my world, right? Just having to think on their feet. They're just so brilliant. So I love that. Um, what is the other one? Uh, oh, I started a couple. I get bored really fast.
Mm.
I do. So I really stick to what I love. And a lot of times I know I probably just don't have the patience to sit with something till it starts to get good. But if someone that I really trust will just give me a heads up, like just wade through those first couple and then you're going to really like it, I'll stick it out. But if I'm not sure, I'm sort of like, no, don't have time for you, you know?
Yeah.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Oh my gosh. Love, 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 love. That was another one. I went back, watched the whole thing again. But that's it. Probably not much new at all. New books, but not new shows. So what about you?
For me, I haven't really been watching like mainstream, TV kind of stuff. I've been watching more like Twitch streams and other things like that people,
Mm-hmm.
content creators
What
like
did you just call that thing?
Twitch. It's a platform kind of like YouTube, but just live streams instead of,
Twitch
videos as
stream.
well.
Okay.
Twitch is the platform.
Okay.
And my favorite Twitch streamers, they're called Critical Role. They're a D&D kind of a live stream.
Naturally.
But they haven't been on because, social distancing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so I've been watching this one guy who I've been watching for a little while now, since like, I don't know, December. He plays a lot of Pokemon and stuff like that. And that's what it's funny because he kind of ties into the whole thing. His name's Ludwig, like the composer.
Yeah.
And that's the screen name because no one uses it.
That's awesome.
So he's kind of the one. He has a slogan, kind of a thing. It's mogul moves. It's like when you make a kind of a risky play or whatever to do.
Nice. Okay, I get that.
Yeah. And that's kind of the phrase that I've kind of been living by during this like quarantine thing. And that's what kind of got my mental state going. Like he also talked about a story about himself. And that kind of made me realize, like, I can't just sit here and be a what ifer, as he called it on stream. It's kind of a long stream and you have to have context, but this is kind of the summary. And I didn't want to be that anymore. And through this wacky, zany YouTuber or Twitch streamer, because he does both.
Okay.
He's kind of taught me how to, I don't know, kind of live a little bit more than just sit there and wonder if, and kind of, just do rather than,
As a theater teacher, I very much like the concept of just doing. Yeah. I think there's so much power in action, not like be reckless and just do something just to say you did something, but, just take some kind of action, right? Towards something that you like, go out and take a walk or whatever. I love that. I mean, I think that the mindset, you said mindset twice, and I think that's a really important thing to remember, is that a mindset is a way you frame your world, and you get to choose that, which I think is really powerful. No matter what your circumstance, you can choose your mindset. You can't necessarily choose the circumstance, but if you choose the mindset, you can kind of control at least the world inside your own head. And let's be honest, that's a challenging thing for a lot of us, especially I deal with anxiety. I have general anxiety, and the last thing I need is to be sitting around thinking inside my own head, in my own thought palace, It's not a good place to be spending too much time. So creating a mindset that says, you know what, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and just get a fresh perspective or go do something different. I think you can choose what your mindset is. And you know what? You have to choose it all day long. It's not like, all right, I've chosen my mindset. I'm set. Kind of like what you were saying when you were like, oh, okay, I had it. I was all ready to go. And then I got another sucker punch, So then I had to recommit to my decision about my mindset.
For me, it's kind of just recommitting, not as much finding a new way to think through every situation. For me, it's
that's what I meant.
Just like
I meant
remembering like, that's what I was supposed to be doing. And I find myself doing that a lot. especially when I'm just sitting there doing mindless tasks and I'm like, wait, what was I doing? Oh,
Wait, what? I heard something the other day I really liked. So I was doing one of my rides, and the coach said, he said, and I usually hate like cliche little sayings, but every now and then there's one that really works. And he said, today's struggle is tomorrow's strength. And that, I mean, particularly as an athlete or someone who's trying to get strong, physically stronger, you know, you have to have heavy weight. You have to have something that really exhausts you and wipes you out to grow. But it just was a good reminder, like in general, the things that are a struggle today are building us for the future. Maybe that's what's gotten me a little bit excited about the fall. You know, I feel like we're all going to come back stronger, maybe a little chubbier because we've all been eating a lot.
yeah,
But in a way, like a stronger mindset. We're going to have a very different perspective. And I think that's going to be powerful.
definitely going to be different.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because this hasn't really happened since like, I don't even know. Yeah, like 1918. And they didn't even really have stuff like that we have now that we can still communicate and be plugged in, which is another topic, social
Yeah.
media. We can talk about that next time maybe, but
Yeah.
like that's a whole nother thing that I completely disagree with, and why I don't want to get like a smartphone or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Honestly,
any
Elijah, I've seen almost more harm than good come from so many people having 24/7 distraction with social media. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm just as guilty as the next person. It is so addicting. And I don't know why. I have a thought about it, but I mean, adults are always like railing on kids about it, but I see adults are just as bad. You know, they're just looking at their adult version of social media, like Facebook or, you know, whatever person they like to listen to or whatever stock reports they like to get onto on their phone or news channels or, you know, but then they're getting mad at their kid for being on Instagram. It's like, but you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're doing the exact same thing.
We'll keep this topic for maybe next time, and then we'll kind of elaborate it on
We'll
later.
shelf it.
Shelf it. Put a pin in it. So most of the spare time I have nowadays, which is a ton, I have been trying to teach myself how to kind of like draw better, getting into a little bit more like artsy stuff. Is there anything like artistically that you've been doing recently?
Yes. I have decided I want to start making quilts for my grandkids and my kids. And like this Christmas, I had already decided this, but this really like brought it home that I wanted to do more handmade gifts for my family this year. And I used to be like super, super domestic. You know, I stayed at home with my kids, did all that. And I used to sew all the time. And so, yeah, I've been learning about quilting. I haven't actually started a quilt yet because I haven't gone to the store to buy fabric. But I've been looking at different kinds and like drawing some patterns and things about how I would like to put it together. And so, yeah, that's kind of a new one for me. It's been fun. I think it's good for us.
I agree. And with me, I've specifically been drawing. I've been trying to learn how to draw Animal Crossing characters. If you have the chance, look them up. They're just adorable.
I know what those are. They're so adorable. I've
been kind of working on something, and I've gathered my research, and
nice.
I've been learning and how to draw and create little Animal Crossing guys, and I'm gonna make one for each and every one of my friends. I'm gonna put it on a little banner, and I'm gonna put it up in my room, and it's gonna be like all of them in their little things.
That is so cute. So cute.
That's what I've been doing recently. but that's pretty close to the end of this stream. I have a question for you, just specifically. Do you think there's any other teachers or like someone like Justin or Chippa or anyone who might want to do an interview, kind of like this, maybe
Yeah.
even or discussion kind of a thing, maybe like Clay or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe just kind of refer them to me and have them send over an email or whatever.
I definitely will. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write that down, or we all know me.
Mm-hmm.
It will go from my head. I'll write it on the back of this.
While you write that down, I'm going to kind of end it with a little kind of a poem kind of a thing.
Awesome.
So this is by wait. Okay. Anyway, sorry. The dark days, the unmovable days, the days that feel like forever. The days wherein happiness isn't something you can't remember. No, this wait will pass, and however long it takes, give yourself kindness and give yourself grace. By Peabody.
That's perfect. I love that.
It's pretty good. And with that, I think we're going to end the stream. It's been about 30 minutes of us kind of ranting about things. So I think that's just about going to do it. Thanks for joining me on this little escapade.
Of course, Elijah, thank you for taking it on. And, I know right now maybe there aren't a lot of people on, or
there's 4.
Even live, but every person who, anytime we reach out, it's never a waste of time. And it's never, ever wasted any good, kind thing that we're trying to do, any connection that we're trying to make. It's never wasted. I appreciate being able to just sit here and talk to you and just be able to talk about stuff that's rumbling around up here. So nice to talk to your dad today too, and, kind of catch up with him. So these conversations, they matter. So thanks for setting it up.
Yep, no problem. And thanks for watching if you're watching it later on the YouTube. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Sweet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.